Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News. And I did a little bit of that. That is our fun post for this week. And since YouTube really wants to give me a heck of a time, they won't let me download it. So we do have Randy in, but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start our show. Just give me time to pull you in.
I'm sorry. I thought we were live.
You're good.
Can they not hear me?
I don't know. I don't think they can. So.
We'll find out.
Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News. And yeah, it's me and Randy tonight. Randy, how's it? Any echo? Well, I know we had echo before the show. So we're good to go?
No, I'm just fine now.
Okay. Well, heck, here we go. Justice for all. And I'm going to start off with, let me, I think I got you up there. We had a man that was indicted for stealing Dorothy's ruby slippers. He was indicted by the grand jury of charges on stealing a pair of ruby red slippers worn by Judy Garland in The Wizard of Oz. And federal prosecutors in North Dakota say the shoes were stolen in 2005 and recovered in 2018 by the FBI sting operation, but no arrests were made at that time. So now Terry Martin was indicted Tuesday with one count of theft of major artwork. Prosecutors announced Wednesday the indictment did not provide any further information about Martin, and online records do not list an attorney for him. So he stole the ruby slippers. And, I heard there was somebody that tried to sell them on auction quite a few years ago, and they found out they were fake. Now they've got the real ones, and they were stolen. So not only that, but this week is the cheese roll. Boy, I had a lot of fun with watching this, and the lady that got the cheese roll, Randy, she skidded on her face for about 20 feet.
Oh my God. 20 feet? That's
yeah.
a long time to be on your face.
Well, she was tumbling down the hill and she was ahead. I think she dove and just tumbled. And the last, I'm going to say 20 or more feet, she was on her face skidding down. And then she grabbed that cheese roll and she won. Now, it doesn't really say what she won. So I'm wondering if all she got was the cheese.
I have a question. I don't know what this is. Maybe what is a cheese roll?
It is a block of cheese. They do it in the UK. I'm surprised you didn't hear about it. It's something they do every year in the UK. And they have this, it's a round piece of cheese that's 7 pounds that they roll down the hill. It looks like a tire or something round. They roll it down the hill and then everybody's turned loose. And there's a female competition and a male. So, but every year they do this, and I'm just it. I watch it, and I'm just astonished. The people that just dive, and then they roll end over end, and they're hurting themselves. They break body parts, and just to get the cheese roll.
Wow.
Now they do it. Now this year, now I always known it in the UK, but they did it in Vancouver, Canada this year. So this is a all new different hill that they rolled this cheese wheel down there. No, um, Susan said, "Sorry, no cheese roll is worth riding down a hill on my face." Now she was holding her arm, and then holding the cheese in the other arm, and I heard she went to the doctors after that. So what what I'm going to do is let's see if I got. Okay, I'm gonna give them an idea of maybe if I got. Um, I'm gonna see if I got. Well, it really doesn't show much. Um, so let me. All right, I'm gonna take you out, and I'm gonna put them in to show them a picture of what this looks like. Um, all right, so let me. I wish I could get this bigger. So you can see they're rolling down the hill, folks. And some of them are like on their back, some of them are on their face. Randy, you should see it. You're going to have to look it up and look at the annual cheese roll. So this year she won sliding on her face. So,
Wow. What a way to win. I
yeah,
lost half of my skin and it looks like I have a chemical peel, but I won.
yeah. Well, she looked pretty tore up. I mean, her face had dirt all over it, and you could tell she skidded on her face.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't think I could do that to hurt myself to get cheese.
no. And I had so many broken bones anyway. The thought of breaking another one for cheese just, no, thank you. I'll pass. I'll watch.
Yeah.
I'll watch and laugh, but that's it. I'm good.
And so we have Justice for All, and we do little stories. And I'm going to jump in real quick because what Randy has with a bear with a camera is leads into like drones and a whole bunch of info. So I want to, tis the season that we mow our yards, Randy. And when you live in the city, because I've had code enforcement on me before for
Yeah.
growing what I call wandering Jew. They come in different colors,
Oh,
purple
yeah.
and pink, and mine grow straight up. They don't go downward like a vine like they should. Mine grow like plants. So
Wow.
so there was this lady that um, she had her lawn get long, and so code enforcement in, I believe, now this happens all over the country, but I believe this was out in California, is how I read the article. Um, and her grass got a little bit too long. So code enforcement wrote her up. Well, when she got a hold of code enforcement, they said it was over 8 inches tall. And she said, but she had mowed it when she seen it. So how does this work if she's mowed it? And they said, no, it's kind of late because they had had multiple warnings on her. It ended up that she owed the city $19,000. And
Wow.
yeah, so they put a lien on her property. And so it was kind of late. So she went to court, and the judge basically sided with the city that she had got this was the third warning, and there was no proof that she had mowed her yard. Now, this happens a lot. I had a niece that she kept getting the same thing, but her yard was brown. But as she watered, they'd write her up for excessive watering. So she couldn't really water. Her yard was brown, so she was getting written up for excessive watering or not watering, and her grass being brown. And after paying thousands of dollars in fines, she just said, forget it. And she put rock in her yard. And that's
Yeah.
what a lot of what they're doing now in these cities because code enforcement, Randy, what I'm thinking is at the same way this article kind of went is code enforcement going out there with a tape measure to make sure? And lo and behold, they do. They do.
Really?
Yeah. And if your yard is brown, then they fine you. If there's water running into the gutter or out into the street, then they fine you. If your grass is too tall, they fine you. Now, I got hit, and mine was because my Jew was growing upward and they considered it a weed. So they said I had to yank it out. And I said, no, it's a plant. It's a inside plant, but it's growing beautiful in my front yard. And they said, well, I can't have it that tall as a weed. And I had to have um, native plants. And so when I went to code enforcement, she was showing me these plants. And I was like, well, those are weeds. She says, no, what you're growing is weeds. I said, no. I said, then how come the people across the street can have elephant ears and flowers and marigolds? Though that's not native. And then I said some other stuff, which I won't repeat. You know me, things come out.
Me too.
And so I won't repeat what I said to her about my wandering Jews. And they didn't really come out after that. But even with the HMOs, they have certain procedures you have to follow, or they will fine you. So not only do you have, get this, I didn't know this until I looked it up. You can get hit with your HMO that you're in the subdivision with, and code enforcement also checks. So you could be hit double fined, and they could put a lien on your house. And so when you go to remortgage or try to sell it, they've got this lien on your property that if you haven't paid it, you're not allowed to sell your house.
Wow. This is why I hate HOAs and all of those. This is why I live in the country.
Yeah.
My grass was just, when the rain hit this spring where I live, my gosh, my grass was halfway up to my knees before I could get out here.
Yeah.
And that had made the city's head spin.
See, they don't do that way out in the country like that, but it's the inner cities like I live in. I live within the city limit. And so that's why code enforcement got me. And come to find out, I had the head of code enforcement that lived down the street, and his daughter was good friends with my granddaughter. So after that, he blocked everybody from even doing anything with me. And he, later on, after he had retired, he came down and he told me they really did want to go after me and keep hitting me up. But since he wouldn't allow it, I didn't get none of them fines. So they were like being corruption going on there.
Yeah. That's a racket. Let's make some money for the city.
Yeah. And
sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that part about the lady with the brown grass and then the no watering.
Mm-hmm.
Really? That you're darned if you do
and
darned if you don't.
19,000 that they put on her. And that was because if they hit you up with the first fine, then once they hit you up with the second fine, you get penalties for the first one not being taken care of going into the second one, come to find out. So when you get a second one, then if you go to the third one, then you're looking at double to triple of the penalties for not paying the first and second. So they're adding on all these penalties. So she might have only owed a couple $100 for a penalty to the city, but because she waited till the third one, she was sitting at 19,000 and a lien on her home.
I don't see how that's even legal. How can they take your home? This is why I preach to get your land allodialed.
Yeah.
And that's going through the Bureau of Land Management, and nobody has a say over what you actually own the property. It's yours.
Mm-hmm.
No government agency can come in and say, Jack, you know what to you.
But those in the HMO, they don't, once you're part of the HMO, I hate to mention my brother, but when he first moved in, we were unloading the big truck. It just got there. We're unloading it, and here comes the big guy with HMO giving him the rules. And if he didn't follow them, then he would be penalized. The very first, we didn't even have the first boxes unloaded.
Gee,
See, that's the
wow.
HMOs, and a lot of people belong to that. So you can be penalized. But what I did find out is the city, the code enforcement can come along after that. So HMO can call and say, we penalize them because their grass is too long. You want to come by and look at it. So, okay, here comes Mr. Code Enforcement with the ruler, and then he penalizes you. Wow,
Yeah.
huh? So anyway, Randy, we want to get on to the whole thing with this bear. When you told me about it, it got really interesting. The more me and you talked about it, we realized this could be the future of drones. So go ahead and go ahead and tell us about this.
Well, I found this. I'll give the credit to the source is CT News, and they reported in Hartfield, Connecticut. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. In Hartfield, Connecticut. So there's this nice little couple that is minding their own business, living their best life out in the country. They have 117 acres of wooded forest. They live back in there, just minding their own business. And there's bears in the area. So lo and behold, a bear comes up closer to their property one day, and they watch the bears. Of course, if you see bears, you're going to get to know them. The thing is, this bear had a tracking collar on, which they had seen that before. So the wildlife agency was probably tracking it. But this time when the bear walked up, the husband took his camera and zoomed in really close on the bear, and it had a collar. And on that collar was a camera. Now, okay, the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, DEEP, they can monitor bears. They can monitor any wildlife. They put tracking devices on all kinds of animals to see their whereabouts, what they're doing, monitor their behavior. Yeah, okay. But this is where it gets kind of herky, because what if this animal with a camera on it comes up close to your house and sees something a little nefarious? And then the people who are watching this footage see this and say, what's this over here? Now, the law says, for law enforcement, law has to have a warrant to search. This is what they're trying to do to this couple. They're saying, we've seen something that we're not too sure of on your property, because this bear had this camera that it was wearing, and we've seen something suspicious. And they're saying, well, what? We haven't done anything. They want to take them to court over this. So these people had to get an attorney and file an injunction, because they want all of the pictures of their house, their property, everything destroyed. They're not trying to even press charges. They're just like, don't invade our privacy. So then we get to where our rights are, which is the Fourth Amendment. And that is, you can't send some sort of a robot dog or a drone or disguised as something else into somebody's property without a warrant. This is the search and seizure and warrant part of our Constitution, our Fourth Amendment. They can't do that.
Yeah.
So this couple this is still a case that's going on, so I don't have a completion on it yet. But I'm going to watch this, because I want to know what's going to happen. I mean, I live out in the country. What if somebody sends a fake duck? I don't know.
Well, we were talking
it's
about
spying on me.
Okay, we were talking about drones. Now
Yeah.
that these drones are now starting to fly around, And you said they were going over farms, but not only that,
Yeah.
but they are going into people's backyards, and that there are privacy issues. But these drone operators aren't watching where they're sending these drones. So what if it takes a look through the window?
Exactly. And sometimes, like, okay, in my case, this is a perfect case. So the state of Illinois has laws in place, and they're really specific, and it's expensive to operate an agricultural drone, just an ag one, here in the state of Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
But see, my bean field comes up close to my house.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, this drone is looking for, and this is where it gets scary, Ellie, the technology on these drones
Mm-hmm.
and the tractors and the combines and the planters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, they can see beneath the surface of the earth,
Yeah.
beneath the topsoil. So the point is, this drone is going to map out how, foot by foot, this whole field, like I'm looking at right now. This is 250 acres. So that drone's going to be out there for a little bit. What if I'm out here sunbathing or skinny dipping or something? That's an invasion of my privacy.
Or
Not
if
to say I
it gets
do that, but you know what I mean.
Or
It's
if
like,
it gets close enough to the house that it could see in your house what you have.
yeah. Or what if there's okay, not everybody in this world is on the up and up. What if it's somebody creepy
Yeah.
that's operating the drone,
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I wonder what she's up to.
And the thing is me and you were talking that, okay, the guy that does the dirtiest jobs, now he,
Yeah.
I guess, sleeps in the nude. And he said he heard this buzzing outside of his window. So he went to look, and lo and behold, here is this drone filming him. And so he grabbed something to cover himself up. And he was saying, you just get out of here. This is illegal. And the drone left. Now, so, with him, he has been very political. So,
Yeah.
So me and you discussed, what if this is the government? So, what if the government now has drones, which they do? We were talking a lot of my viewers, Randy, know about when I talked about the bugs, the flies, the bugs, the bees that have camera and microphones that they can now go in and watch. So now we have capabilities of a bee. I'm going to stick with a bee that can fly into your house and film you that the government has. So are they looking for guns? They could be looking for anything. Whether you're a terrorist, who you're talking to. And the bee could fly around and hover in the corner while you're on the phone. They have capabilities of tapping your phone, but what's even better is a bee that would be in the corner filming you while they're tapping the phone.
Uh-huh. And here I am, the bee pollinator lady.
And they when I was showing them to the my viewers, they were showing a bunch of them that were in sync, that they could fly around each other. They could fly one way, and then one could fly over the top of them, and then they could go back into formation. And I was like, and this was, Karen, how long ago was that? And I think Karen remembers the bees or the bugs that I showed, and flies, and there was bats. And so now, I looked into it, me and you talked about it, and now they are putting cameras on butterflies and dragonflies.
Oh my gosh, and I've got a pond out here. I've got millions of dragonflies. They're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes you just wonder, if somebody really wanted to come after you, a dragonfly would be perfect as a little robot, because it's hard to detect it they're robotic just naturally, to me anyway. The way they'll sit and they'll hover in front of you for just a second to see if you, like infrared, I believe is the way they see. Not sure on that, but then they'll zip away.
And Karen said if you
Whoa.
have Alexa, it listens to you without asking. That's right. That's why I won't have that or Siri or any of them. You know, every time I run into Alexa, uh, you well, you know me. I say, Alexa, who's better looking, you or Siri? And it confuses the hell out of them things. You know me though. I think my viewers are starting to get to know me, even the new ones. They said they get a kick out of some of my responses. Um,
Oh yeah,
but you
it's
know, this
it's
is
cool.
very serious because this is what China uses to keep an eye or even track um, people with the like the freedom of speech from Tiananmen Square. They send these little itty bitty drones. I think they do bats and birds over there to where they track people to where the CCP can go in and arrest these people. So now we're seeing it here. So what I was saying earlier, Randy, was if they get us used to the drones being up in the air and making our deliveries, and we're seeing them, we're okay with it. They kind of follow us around, so we're okay. And I found it with our government, they wait till we feel real comfortable with things, and then they put a bill in and implement it. So this could be in the next 10 years. We're looking at these. We don't know if it's going to be a real bee or a mechanical bee. We don't know if the birds have got cameras or like we just seen the bear's got a camera on it.
For real. And I know there's a lot of videos on YouTube that I do find interesting because I'm just going to spitball this and throw this out here. We didn't talk about this earlier, but I think it's very interesting because the Department of Natural Resources here in Illinois has released so many invasive, non-native animals out in my neck of the woods as an
Hmm.
experiment.
Well, you
Like,
know, they
we
when
don't
they
have mountain lions out here, and people are having horses attacked by big cats. Okay, they're putting cameras on these animals to experiment with them. Well, who's to say they're not going to do that in the future for people?
well, yeah, when
Well,
they do
because
that,
they already
like
have.
they do that with bear. Pretty much all the wildlife, they hook either some type of collar, and they look at their weight. They look at their vital signs and their health in general. So if they got to, they can go out and get it and take care of it. But what if I don't trust BLM because of how they kill the horses out in
Yeah,
Nevada. And BLM is a lot of this is in charge of them. So they could put a camera for like on a raccoon or a possum that comes right up to your door and looks in. So they could see everything in your house. What if they look at your house and it's not quite tidy and they call, oh, guess what? My possum camera seen this lady's house that she was sick for a couple days, and it looks like her kids are living in filth. So go take them, CPS.
yeah. Perfect example right there.
Uh huh.
Or, like you and I spoke about earlier, and I heard this news. This technology's been around for so long, but
See? And
it's like Dianne Feinstein was throwing a dinner party. Inside, outside, had the marquee set up. Everybody's having a lovely time, wherever, the Hamptons, wherever, um, you know, outside and inside her property.
mhm.
And she is walking through her house, and she just stopped and turned and looked and saw some funny sort of bug, I'm air quoting, hovering next to her window. And she looks at it long enough and goes, oh my God, my own government, they want to know what's going on at this party, because it was, senators and congressmen and who knows what kind of information and all the
Mhm.
little, back talk and side
Yeah.
talk
And
that
get
was
this,
heard.
when I was looking into it today, from 1991 to 2006 was the biggest boom of the drone. That is um, the Clintons, the Bush, and Obamas. The biggest
Should have
ones that want to
known.
spy on you. I mean, I don't mean to chase off some of our 4 o'clock people that I don't like to get political with, but this is something they need to know. Like Karen said, her youngest has a drone. Am I right? So get this. With the way remote controls work, I found out when we were doing remote control cars with my kids, those can easily be hacked and watched. So if you're having fun with your drone and you're like, yeah, I'm going to go over so and so's house and the government wants it, they can hack it into this machine or this drone and see what they want to see.
Yeah, I believe it. The technology with
Oh,
drones
he
is
has an
so
Alexa.
tech.
Okay. He has an Alexa, not a drone. But this is what, and get this, we even knew this with we had remote control cars, planes, and boats. And we found out every single one of them could be listened in on or even controlled by the government. So you could have your drone, and all of a sudden, drone takes off, and it could be FBI, CIA that took control of your drone to go look at what they want and then send it back to you. I was amazed at the articles I read today, and I was like, man, then I would think I would lost my drone, and all of a sudden it's back, but the government used it for really bad things. Really bad things.
I'd like to see him try to get a hold of a souped up, and believe it or
Elon
not, I'll call them
Musk's.
hot rod drones. There's drone racing. There's a
Hmm.
huge sport that's growing. I mean, these things go like probably 80 and 90 miles an hour. And they
Yeah.
have all sorts of, under makeshift bridges, and you have to manipulate and finagle your drone around, and whoever's got the quickest time wins.
Yeah.
Uh,
And are they using that drone? Okay, they may not be using it while it spins around the track. What if they need that drone to be sitting in a garage to watch one of the mechanics that work on that car? Maybe he might be a Russian spy or he might know something. And they're
yeah,
listening.
yeah,
And that's the whole. It's not really it would be a drone, but it would be something they could put on the car to listen to. And with the rogue FBI and CIA we have right now, we can't really trust any of these drones. And Elon Musk is the one that brought it out, saying, remember, I don't think AI is good for the public. Maybe because he knows these drones are going to start watching people, and with us hiring the IRS agents, maybe it's stuff or info that they're going to send saying, go after this guy, and this guy. He didn't list the brand new car he just bought. So the IRS can use it. I think this is a pre government trial for people to have drones that they can either hack them or they can fly themselves or
yeah,
take control of your car. Now, that Williams got a good point there. They could take control of your car too. And let's say you're with somebody on Hillary's hit list. Hey, a car drive off the bridge.
yeah,
I know I've seen this before, Randy. We were oh man, this was about 10, 15 years ago. We're driving down the freeway and this car in front of us takes a sharp right hand turn in front of us and flies off the side of the highway. And when I read the article the next day, they said it was a trial run on one of the newest electric cars that could drive itself. Well, it
yeah,
just killed somebody. And this
yeah,
was out in Sacramento. So it was when I was out in Sacramento to see my folks. Well, not really, my mom and my sister. But that right there tells you that these controllable cars can be made to do anything they want. It just depends who hacks it.
yeah.
So
And so easily hackable now that everything is just technologically based. Just like you said, Elon said, he tried to warn us,
yep.
and I think he's tired of telling us about it. He said, it's fine. look at the good things that we can do with Neuralink, his company. Like people who are paralyzed, we can put that chip in there to they won't be paralyzed anymore. That's to do good work.
Yeah.
But what if these people start making robots like stormtroopers in Star Wars? Like this stuff can become real life. And he said, if it gets into the wrong hands, we're done.
Yeah. Now, Karen mentioned even a baby monitor she won't do. Can you imagine what they could do with baby monitors?
I already know what you can do with the baby monitor
she said
because you can cheat with them in a race car.
See?
You can put them so that nobody can detect them and have a screen hidden in the dash of your race car, and you can look and see how far back the other car is and know whether to give it more gas or lift up so you win the race.
Yeah.
I've already seen somebody do that, and that was creepy.
Yeah. And so now we're hooking it to we're hooking cameras up to wildlife. So that tells you it's gone to the next step. And after that, then what? If they're hooking it up to a bear, it's all wildlife, deer, and the closest you're going to get is them raccoons, the squirrels, and the possum to get to look in your house. Or a drone that can peep in on you. And if let's say a politician's having an affair, they can get that drone right up there and get all the pictures they want. And then lo and behold, that opponent can say, look at the film I've got.
Oh.
It's way better than taking pictures, because they used to do it with they used to put it in those bears or items where they used to it would just do pictures. Now they've got lamp. And now they've got bees that could fly in your house and get up close and personal to you and make sure it's your face and whoever their mistress might be, or vice versa. It could be a woman with a guy, and your competitor that you're going to go against in the next election can have this info. That's how Bill and Hillary do it. They get lots of pictures and they do stuff with to get.
Don't they melt when they come back to her?
I know when she goes to try to ride her broom, it catches on fire.
Does it go poof and explode?
Well, Brandy, if you don't, do you have anything else to say? Because we've come to the end of the show.
Wow, absolutely. Bye. I just want to thank everybody for listening. And if you're new, welcome. And we do this every Monday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hit the notification bell. The bells are not working as well as they used to on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that like button, because that makes the algorithm more readable for more people.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ellie's videos are going to get out more.
Yeah, and we did. We did get a ban for a month and a half. They were searching through my videos. So if you notice a lot of my videos disappear, it's so they can't go back and hit me with a strike. So we're sitting at a month and a half. We'll be on Investigator News Network. So let everybody know, and hopefully those on Investigator News 2 will find us here on the network and let their friends know. So, Randy, really good show, and everybody needs to subscribe and, like you said, like and hit the follow over there in Facebook. Now, if you're worried about you wanted to watch a show from a year ago, everything is on Facebook. We didn't lose our videos. I just took them off of YouTube, so they can't hold my videos against me. So it's 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Standard Time for next Monday. So I'm going to be doing William's show in the next hour, and I'm having some tests done tomorrow. So William's he's gonna be a Free Willy and do the show. All that fits him, huh? Free Willy, William. He's a Free Willy tomorrow, and he gets to do his own show with me off to the side, or also kind of sit there. It's just I don't know what kind of shape I'm going to be after. What they're doing is they're going to stick a tube down my throat and into my
Yeah.
stomach. So I don't know. They're going to knock me out. I might be fine, but I'm going to let him be free willy tomorrow. So
Well, we need to pray up then. Everybody that's listening to this, let's all be praying for Ellie tomorrow that all of her tests go well,
that's
the
right.
procedure goes well, and the results come out well.
Yeah. So,
Amen.
Randy, thanks for hosting tonight with me, and everybody come on back in about 15 minutes. And now I did, just to let you know, the funny post, Google won't let me post it for some reason. So every Monday until we get the strike down, they will be before the Monday show. So if you if you don't want to watch it, just wait about 5 minutes and then, come on back to us. But all of the best funny post will be before mine and Rindy's show every Monday until we get back to them letting me post the videos. So
yeah, and leave us a comment too.
That's right.
Feel free to leave comments, and if you got questions or if you've even got some sort of injustice for all, something that you want to share. Let us see the story so that we can get the word out there.
Mhm.
So much bad news nowadays. Why don't we inform people, number one, and number two, let's put some good news out there. Like, yay, the underdog finally won. There's been justice done.
Mhm.
So I just thank you so much for having me on here, Ellie. It's been a pleasure.
It's been fun. A few
Yeah,
shows we've
fun.
done, and we're looking forward to next week. So come on back, and we will see everyone, or me and Rindy for Justice for All. We'll see you next week. And then come on back in about 15 minutes for the news show. And we got a whole week worth of a lot of good stuff. So we thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, we're done.
Are we?